What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you another Shop My Stash video. Honestly, I am just living in this realm right now where I'm trying to use my money more strategically and not buy things that I really don't need to bring into my life, but also things that I just don't want to move with. Okay, I don't want it. So today I'm actually talking myself out of the Huda Beauty Naughty palette. I will hopefully get it up here on the screen so you guys can see what it looks like in case you don't know. In the past I have purchased 2 or 3 Huda Beauty palettes. The only one that I still have in my collection to my knowledge is actually this baby right here, which is the Huda Beauty Nudes palette. Now don't get me wrong, I actually really do like this palette. I have found really interesting ways to use it. I hate with a passion, a flying passion, burning in the depths of my soul, these 2 glitters. I don't like them. I don't like them. Take them out. And honestly, I think I've used the concealed shade once. That tells you how I really feel about this palette. But I find that every Huda Beauty palette, there's always something in the palette that I don't like. Now, do I maybe get some inspiration from the colors? Of course, but if I don't like every shade, and I'm not going to get my money's worth out of every shade, I am trying my hardest, my darndest, not to pick it up anymore. So that is really what I'm doing today. And today I'm going to be using my Modern Renaissance. So if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so today I'm just gonna shop my stash again, just to once again talk myself out of picking out another eyeshadow palette. This one is actually, like I said in the beginning, I'm just gonna kind of ramble while I'm applying my primer, is the Huda Beauty Naughty palette. I don't know why, but lately I've been really interested in that palette, and for a couple of reasons I'm not going to be picking it up. The main reason honestly is that I don't like all of the shades. I wanted to double check that I didn't like all the shades, so I actually went into Sephora today. Today is actually the first day of the VIB sale. I went into Sephora and I wanted to look at the physical palette, not look at the version online, and I confirmed once again I did not like every last single shade in the physical palette. 2, I did not like the weird shade. That idea, I know I'm not going to get any use out of it. So the idea of buying another palette, bringing it into my collection, I'm not going to get the use out of the whole thing, doesn't make any sense. So I am shopping my stash, and today I'm actually using my Modern Renaissance from ABH. This is a palette that this was one of my oldest palettes. This is my oldest palette, not one of it. It is my oldest palette, and I'm pretty sure every year I get to my declutter and I say this is the last year I'm gonna keep this palette in my collection because it's old. And I always find a reason to keep it because I want to hit pan on all the shades. I want to fully pan the whole palette, something to that extent. And I decided I was actually going to use this palette today, and I'm really happy I did. It is still working beautifully. The formulation is still really nice. Is the pigmentation as much as it might have been when I first got it? No. But it's still working really, really nicely. I still like the colors, and it is proving that this was honestly a really good purchase overall for me. Like I said, I purchased this years ago, and it's still doing very good, very strong. Right now I'm working the shade Love Letter into my crease, really just emphasizing that outer area. And sorry, it looks like the sun is playing me. Let me put on my ring light. I think that is better for you guys, hopefully, just so that you guys can have some constant light from the front while the sun is going in and out in the background. But I'm really just blowing out my crease, making sure to blend it to my satisfaction, but I am really focusing on keeping the darkest part of Love Letter right here on the outer corner. And if you're wondering, this is the same crease brush from my last video, which is the Royal & Land Nickel Crease BMD 430. Then I'm going to go into my ColourPop E9, and I'm going to go into the shade Cypress Umber, which is the brown. And I am going to deepen out my actual crease. So I put that all in like my transition area and in my crease. Now I'm gonna really focus on that outer V area and my crease, just really trying to deepen out this area. And the main goal for me for actually placing this color in this area is to create the illusion that I had a darker purple or a darker maroon. And you will see kind of how I personally manipulate that coloring in a second. I just want to kind of place it and work with the shade right now. What I do is actually go back in with that Love Letter shade with more product, not too much, but some product on there, and I apply Love Letter over that area. I find that it kind of gives the illusion that I actually had a darker version of the original shade and not, you know, actually putting a brown in there. It doesn't always work, but I find that it works enough for me and I'm happy with it. So that's all she wrote, folks. So tis what I did. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do is just do this exact same thing more or less on the bottom lash line, taking Cypress Umber right along that lower lash line. That went pretty low, so we're gonna have to have some fun today. And then taking a little bit of Love Letter under that. Okay. All right, so if like me you tend to go overboard, I have these really small blending brushes. This one happens to be from Sigma. This is the E36, and just blend those edges. It'll help to really get some precise blending in the area, and maybe you don't look so much as like a clown. If you can't do that, always just go in with whatever brush or sponge you put your foundation on, or whatever product in that corner, and just dab right over it. So this is pretty much the base of the look. Then I'm gonna do my lid shade. Now when I was doing this eye, I actually put down the shade Tempera, which is pretty much like a matte beige. I don't actually know why I even used that. I think I used it because I wanted to see what it would look like on my complexion. It looks like white. Not doing that again on this eye. What I'm gonna do on this eye is just go in with the shade that I put on top, which is actually Vermeer. When I was actually trying to hit pan and fully pan this palette previously, that was one of the shades that I was really gaming to hit pan in next, and it never worked out. But I don't necessarily like the shimmers in this palette, so what I do is I always load up my brush, spray my brush with some form of setting spray or water, just so that it kind of emphasizes the shade and brings out some shininess, and then I pack her onto the area that I want it to go. So that's what I'm doing right now, just really lathering up this area, and you can see it's nice and shiny. And I try and use all of my lid space possible. I'm not really pressed, once again, for this to be a super constructed look, so I am just going to kind of blend that little area, but I am wanting that to be nice and pretty and bold. Now I'm actually quite satisfied with that. I am gonna just go back and forth with the brushes that I used in my crease, both the brown brush, which is the ColourPop, and the Royal & Land nickel brush, just to make sure that everything is blended to my satisfaction. Then I'm going to take a pencil brush, which is from BK Beauty. This is their 207. Go right into Vermeer, and because this is such a concentrated area, I actually don't feel the need to wet it, although you can by all means. It will also help so that you don't have any fallout. And then I'm just going to go at the very front of that lower lash line, and you see it just opens up that inner part of my eye. So now all I need to do is put my liner on and my mascara, and this is pretty much the look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my one size liner. This is the only black liner I have, and I'm gonna use her up. And then my mascara that I'm currently working on is my Essence the False Lash Mascara. So I'm gonna put these two on really quickly, finalize my look, make sure everything's good to go, and then yeah, I'll show you guys my finished look. Alrighty, so this is the finished look. Hopefully you guys can see, and I'm just gonna show you guys a nice close-up. So yeah, super easy, super quick, using something that I've already purchased for a very long time, and just getting more use out of it instead of potentially picking up a palette that I know I'm not going to get use out of all of the shades. And yeah, that's pretty much the purpose of this video. I feel like a lot of people have this particular palette. It is a very, very cult classic palette, and sometimes it's good just to remind yourself to shop your collection, shop your stash, and that's what I'm doing today, just reminding myself it is okay not to necessarily buy something new. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sound off down below if you have used your Modern Renaissance this month, and if you have, what looks you've done. I would love to hear the combinations of colors, because I find that I get very much in the rut of literally using the burgundies and then literally using the brown and the oranges, and I don't mix and mingle. So I would love to hear or see any of your looks and maybe get some new inspiration with this palette. But with that said, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, y'all, it has been real. Peace.